Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael. I'm going to be your host for round about the next, I think it's going to be a short one, so probably maybe it's about 20 minutes this session. We're looking at batch reporting in Sage 50 Cloud Accounts. Joined by Jackie, who's sat there in the background, and she'll be answering any questions that you might have as well. So on the subject of questions, during today's session, you are in listen-only mode, so you can't verbally ask any questions as usual, but you will be able to type them into the questions panel. If you can't currently see the questions panel, then you just need on your toolbar down the right, just click the little icon that looks like a little speech bubble containing a question mark, and you'll be able to start typing any questions that you have in the box that appears in the bottom right-hand corner. There is a copy of the slides available for you to download as a handout today as well. So again, use that icon if you want a copy of those. All the supporting information, the detailed information as normal, is included and available from our help center. So do check that out as well. So there's not detailed steps in the handout, just in case that's what you're expecting. You'll find all the detailed steps in the Help Center articles that are available. If you want to as well, just above the exit option on your toolbar, you can switch to full screen mode. I've tried to reduce my resolution as much as I can to make things a little bit bigger for you. So hopefully that's nice and clear when I come to sharing my screen. But we're looking at batch reporting today, quite a simple topic, this one, quite a simple feature to use, but one that can be a really good time saver. So we're going to run through a little bit of an introduction to tell you a little bit about it. We'll then run through what is quite a quick and simple demonstration, hopefully showing you a few different aspects of that batch reporting option. And you never know, it might be one of those that you just think, right, I'm aware of this, now how can I use that? So going forward, if you're aware of it, you'll probably hopefully start spotting those opportunities where you could potentially use batch reporting to save yourself a little bit of time. So we're going to run through a couple of demonstrations for you, looking at how you go about creating and setting up a brand new batch report, how you go about running them, and also if you needed to, how you can go about amending them as well, so if you need to make any changes. Just at the end, a little plug for some of the sessions that we've got coming up as well. Right, let's get started then. So a little bit of background to batch reporting first of all. So batch reporting, what does it actually do? Well, as its title would suggest, it groups reports together so that you can basically run them as a batch. So when you run a batch report, so you might run a combination of, say, profit and loss, balance sheet, trial balance, just as an example. Rather than run those reports individually, you've got them in what you would term a batch report. So you run that batch report, you complete a single set of criteria, which will be all of the various merged criteria from the various reports that you've included in your batch. You basically complete that and it runs it as one report. So it avoids a situation where maybe you come to a month end, you run the trial balance. Once that's done, you then run the profit and loss, you run the balance sheet, and maybe a series of other reports that you would run through. So benefits wise, obviously simplifies your process. You just, whichever reports you want, you include them in the batch, and then you run the batch report itself. So you're just running one report and completing that one single set of criteria and just let it get on with it at that point. So saving you time. Also, if anyone else is taking over, or maybe you're just having sort of one of those days where you just get interrupted all the time, it avoids you forgetting to run reports as well. Now, the batch reporting option, it's availability wise, it's available in the standard and the professional levels of Sage 50 Cloud Accounts. It's not available in the essentials level. If you're using essentials, you never know, it might just be another sort of another little tick on that list of things that maybe I'll upgrade to a higher level of the software because I'd gain that feature. Now, it's been around for quite some time. So introduced in version 15, so way back in 2009. So to version 28 now, so been around for quite some time. Feature itself hasn't really changed. So we'll have a look at that in just a second. If anyone is on a much older version as well, so I mentioned Essentials, Standard, Professional. There used to be an Accounts Plus level as well that would have been available. Accounts Plus would sit somewhere between Standard and Professional, so it would be available on that level of the software as well. Not actively support that level of the software now though. Right, okay, so we're going to have a look at batch reporting. Examples of when you might use it: month end, maybe at year end. I suppose any time where you might run a series of reports. So maybe as part of a reconciliation process. If you work in credit control, you might run a series of reports. If you're doing your VAT return, again, prior to going into the VAT return to check your figures, you might run a series of reports. If you're running a stock take. I'm sure there's other times you can think of as well when you might use it. If you want to pop in some examples, maybe for future demos that I run, by all means do so. So any time you sort of think, well, you know, this sort of process I run these set 5 reports. It might just be your role. That's what you do at the beginning of a week or the end of a week to check figures. So anything like that where you're running the same sort of set of reports each and every time, it's a good, potentially a good time saver for you. Right, anyway, let's get stuck into some demos. As I say, it's quite a short topic, this one, but if you think of any questions in the meantime, just keep them coming. We'll try and pick up as many as we can. Right, okay, let me share my screen and we'll get started. So to access a batch report, all we do is we go into Tools, and assuming we're on the right level of the software and that our username has access to it, we'll have a batch reporting option. So near the bottom of that drop-down menu. Just takes you into the normal sort of report browser type window. So you'll have a favorites and a batch reports. And in batch reports, by default, you will have a series of, well, a few defaults. Obviously, you'd only have the purchase orders list and status and the sales order list and status within the, if you're on the professional level of the software. So Joe, you mentioned that's maybe one of the options that sort of one of the areas, open sales orders, etc. So it might be one that you have a look at. But any reports, flag them as your favorites as well, because it can mean it's that much easier to actually build your batch report. I'll show you an example of what I mean by that in a moment. But anyway, so we've got these ones here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set one up from scratch. So I'm just going to click new, give it a name. So I'll just put my name in as an example. I'll call it Michael's batch report. See if I can type today. Not very well. So Michael batch report, I'll put in instead. And then what we need to do is from the drop down here, we're going to expand the reports option. Now, if you do have your reports flagged as favorites, they'll be listed down here. I'll show you that one in a few minutes time. But basically, if you expand reports, and it'll list the various areas. Now, let's say we're generating one, and I'm going to generate one similar to the existing month-end option that's there. So what I'm going to do is, in nominal, I'm going to go into the profit and loss area, and I'm just going to select the standard profit and loss report. So I'm going to say as part of, let's say, my month-end, I run a profit and loss report. So I select that one, and I can either click Add, it'll move it across. Just reset that one, or I can literally just double click it. Double click it, again, it'll move it across to this box on the right hand side. And we just basically repeat that for any reports that I want to include in this batch. So if I expand the trial balance, and I'll choose the period trial balance option, double click it, it'll move it across for me. Let's quickly add the balance sheet in as well. It's done. And while I'm at it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to include let's say an age debtors report as well. So I expand customers, and it's just like going within customers and then reports. You've even got your My Customer Reports option. So I'll go into customers and then select the relevant folder, so age debtor reports, and choose the one I want to include. So I'll just choose that one at the top there. Again, double click it. And while I'm at it, I might as well do age creditors as well. So just browse through, select your report, and it's got them all here on the right-hand side. Now you can change the order of these as well. So if you wanted your aged reports to be at the top, for instance, just select it and you can move the position of the report in the list. The importance of that is just that's the order that they'll actually run in the batch and be displayed, the tabs, when you preview it. Right, now I'm just going to click save. Give it a file name. So we'll just call it MC Batch. You don't need to change the folder or anything like that. Just accept the default, give it a file name, click save, and that'll be it done. So it should appear on your list. Now to run a batch report, just select it. And then just as normal, you've got your floating toolbar that follows you around, or you've got the options along the top. So if we just want to preview that one, we'll get the combined criteria options from all of those reports. So you'll notice I've got a customer range, a supplier range. So it also asks me what date I want to run the report up to. So from report date downwards, that criteria is driven by the information that I'm prompted to complete when I run an age debtors or an age creditors. The period that I want to run up to, that would be from the trial balance. From and to comes from the profit and loss and the balance sheet. And also which chart of accounts that's generally getting pulled in because it asks for that on the P&L and the balance sheet. So you've got one combined set of criteria. So normally if your reports, if you've got thousands and thousands of transactions, sometimes your reports can take a good few minutes to generate. So rather than you run one, sit there and probably watch it, we're getting a bit frustrated with it as it runs through, you sat there waiting for it, you can just run your batch. So complete your one set of criteria. I'll just accept all of the defaults there. So what I'll do, well, actually I'll change this one so it's in line with the it's in line with the criteria at the top here, and I'll tick that box there. So just okay that. Now it's going to be really quick on mine. So I've got we've got about just over 1,000 transactions entered in this company, I think. So that's next to nothing. So it is very, very quick. Now what it's done is it's run these reports, and it has a tab for each report along the top. So I would just run the batch report, let it run. Maybe get on with something else while I'm waiting for the reports to generate. But when they're done, as I say, you've got these tabs along the top. You get the various standard options, print, export, email and export. And you'll notice there's drop downs this time. If I click on the drop down, I get various options now. It's not just asking me, do I want to print the current report only, so the one I'm looking at? Do I want to print everything as a single job, so to just send all the reports off to the printer? Or do I want to print them all as individual jobs? So what that means, if I was to go down that option, it's going to say, right, I'm going to get a print dialog come up for each one. And that goes the same for emailing and also exporting as well. But as you can see, you can toggle between the reports. If there's any, maybe sometimes you don't want a certain report in your batch, you can always click onto that tab and just close it, and then maybe print all the others in a batch. But it is literally that easy to use the option. So I'll just close out of them, and I'll quickly run through that one again with you. Now you can even amend the existing ones if you want to go down that route again, just to save yourself a little bit of time. So we could highlight, and the example is very similar to the one I just created there. It includes the trial balance, the profit loss, and the balance sheet. For mine, I included obviously the age debtors, age creditors. I want to quickly mention a little bit about favorites as well. So for instance, if we're in customers and we go to reports, and again, we'll just choose age debtors. So if I think I always run this one, maybe I run this one regularly. And while I'm at it, let's say from the daybook reports, let's say I run that one. Now, when they're flagged as favorites, yes, I can go into customers and then reports and it lists the ones I run. But again, if I wanted to run those 3, I'd run one, output it, then the next one, then the next one. So let's say I just wanted to run those 3 as a batch. Again, just into tools, batch reporting, I'll click new. And if I expand favorites, it will list the ones that we just mentioned there. So I'll just put my initials in and I'll call it MC customers. And then what I'll do is I'll just select these. So I'll just double click them to add them across to the right-hand side. Click save, give it a file name. Click save, and again, that's it done. So if I go into batch reports, there's my report there. Again, if I just preview it, gives me the combined criteria from all those reports that were included in the batch. And then I can complete that, click OK. You can see it's run the 3 of them at the top there. Joe, you mentioned there, will a remittance not work? No, a remittance is it's classed as a layout rather than a report, so wouldn't work for that. So nice simple feature. There is obviously, as you can see, that it's nice and easy to use, nice and easy to set up. You can add as many batch reports as you want. It's something that once you're aware of the feature, it's maybe something that you'll think of going forward. Have a bit think about those processes. Might even just be 2 reports that you run together. Set them up as a batch, run them at the same time. You're not hunting around thinking, right, well, when I go into customers and reports, which is the one I normally run? Daily transactions, or is it a daybook report, right? Which is the one on here that I normally run? So you've got it set up as a batch. Again, even within batches, if you've got loads of them set up, even these, you can flag them as favorites. So they'll appear when you first go in. No restriction on the number of batches that you have either. So nice simple feature. Again, you'll find loads of supporting information within our help center if you need it. So do check that out if you get a chance. So that brings us to the end of the short demo. Hope you found that useful, giving you a little bit of food for thought. Just to give you an idea of maybe some of the other upcoming sessions that we've got planned in. So got one tomorrow, manually entering payroll into your accounts. If you want to come along and see how we go about doing that one, if it's something that you're never quite sure of, if you are doing it manually, then why not get yourself signed up for one of those? If you're interested in doing it automatically, we've run it a few times already, proven very popular. We do have a separate session on that one. So if you're using both Sage 50 Cloud Payroll and Sage 50 Cloud Accounts, you can actually integrate the two so that your payroll is posted across automatically. Quite a number of other topics coming up as well. And if you've got any requests, so when the little survey pops up as you leave today, if you want to pop them on there. Also, any other thoughts about webinars? So let us know. Probably not even take you a minute to complete that. So I'm going to quickly thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming along. Hope you have enjoyed it and found it useful. Any feedback, pop it on there. If you're looking for additional support, remember there's loads in our help center. If you've got any questions in the meantime as well, pop them in there. We'll just hang around for a couple of minutes to see if any questions do come through. If you were late joining as well, just for questions, if you want, you will need to type them in. But to do that, on your toolbar, you just need to click your little icon, looks like a speech bubble containing a question mark. You'll then get the little box in the bottom right-hand corner where you can start typing any comments or questions that you might have. We don't actually have any outstanding questions at the moment, though. Hilary, you mentioned about the date for the VAT reporting webinar. Just watch out for your follow-up email and it will include the links that you need, either for the live sessions, where you can get yourself registered, or the recordings. I don't think we've got one. I'm sure we got one planned in for the VAT return, but for VAT reporting itself, I don't think we've got any more planned in for that one currently. But certainly there's definitely recordings available otherwise. But both links are included on your follow-up email, which you get in round about an hour's time. Easy way to check for webinars as well is within your software. If I just quickly show you that one. So on in your account software, if you just go to the home page and you've got your free webinars panel here. So if you give it a click, it will open your browser and it will take you across to our article where all the upcoming live sessions are actually listed. Heather, you mentioned there, are there any sales reporting webinars coming up? We haven't got any specifically planned in. Any requests like that though? Again, pop it on this little survey that pops up as you leave the session today. Althea, you mentioned there, if you joined late, there will be a full recording available. So when you get your follow-up email, it will include the link that you need. But just to quickly show you, all we did was we went into tools and then batch reporting. That's where you'll find it. The rest of what we quickly covered, it will be included in the recording. So watch out for your follow-up email. It'll include the link that you need. So you get that around about an hour's time. Any other questions from anyone? If you haven't had a chance to attend it yet, we are running a very popular session at the moment on what's new in version 28.1. Version 28.1, we're in the process of rolling that out to everyone at the moment. So if you want to see what the new features and enhancements are, why not come along and have a sneak peek before you download and install it. Some great options in there, options for multi-company users, data management tools, VAT simplification options. So quite a bit in there. It's probably one of the most recent releases that's got quite a significant changes in it. So get yourself signed up for one of those as well. We're going to be running a number of those sessions throughout July. So get yourself signed up. Okay, on any additional questions at this stage? So what I'll do at this point, we'll just end the webinar. So once again, many thanks for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed it and found it useful. We hope to see you on some other webinars soon. Many thanks.